First team all week, running back Max Mickey, and three-time all-conference quarterback Luke Papilion. Let's go ahead and, Jed, you want to give an opening?
Well, first of all, just like somebody yelled out there, another first. Our first playoff win as a D2 program, and we haven't been doing this very long, so it's a pretty cool thing. Just couldn't be more proud just of our coaches and players, just the work ethic this week and the preparation and just kind of showing up to work. I think they've been focused all year. I mean, you can tell that it's not just happy to be here. They're cherishing every moment. So I'm just proud of this coaching staff putting together a really good game plan, and then the effort and practice this week of staying pretty focused, knowing that we were facing a really good quality opponent. That's a tough draw, in the first round, and you're a 2 seed to get a team like that. So give a lot of credit to that football team and Coach Victor Santa Cruz. But just a happy day today, and we get to play at home again next week, and that's what we're excited about.
Luke's injury, either of you, what held him out there for the fourth quarter?
Well, I can tell you, we held him out. I mean, it's one of those things where he was ready to go. We've got a quality, we got 2 really good quarterbacks here. Corbin is a guy that this team trusts and we trust, and we just felt like, Luke would have went back in. He, running quarterback in week 12, you're going to have some bumps and bruises, but we just made a choice to take him out because he was, guys want to come hit running quarterbacks, and we want to take him out of that. So. So that's the decision that was made. So, at least he's still talking to me. He doesn't like when I take him out of games.
So it was just more to protect him versus like a precaution or anything injury related?
Correct.
Okay. It seemed like there in the first quarter, Luke, that 16-yard run that you had on the quarterback draw on third down, that seemed to sort of like get the offense with a little traction, because before that it was a lot of little short gainers. But that one, it seemed like you guys finally got your feet under you and started to move.
Yeah, it's a playoff game. We knew it was gonna, you're gonna see a bunch of different things. It's a team we've never played before, so they're throwing out some things that we haven't seen. So it took us a little bit to get used to it and see what was going out there on the field. But yeah, we just needed a couple of plays to ignite us, and we got those, and it did. So it was awesome. Offensive role.
Coach, what was the plan for attacking their defense coming in?
Well, it's a new look defense we hadn't really seen. They do a really nice job. In fact, they did a great job today. There's a lot of movement. They've got a lot of athletes. They're big up front. I think patience, sticking in the run game. I think that's something that we've seen all year, that sometimes it takes a little bit to adjust, and you could kind of see that we were finally kind of starting to hit it a little bit. And that's when you're facing good defenses like that. That's going to we don't just just kind of go away from the game plan. And we felt like we could run the ball on these guys and get the clock going, and that's what we were able to start to do.
What was the message there at halftime when you went from potentially being able to go up 28-0 to only having a 21-7 lead after the fumble?
I just told them great job in the first half. Things like that's going to happen. It's tough to play a perfect game. So I was just proud of them that they came out to be the playoff game 21-7 going into halftime against a really good football team. We don't sweat the little stuff like that. I mean, we knew we had the ball coming out in the second half, and they're kind of used to it. We love the third quarter. We've come to love the third quarter. It's not that we play bad in the first and second, but it's just third quarter has been kind of special to us this year. So anytime we take a lead into halftime and we have the ball especially coming, we feel pretty good.
Max, I mean, your performance today, 3 touchdowns, including that 51-yarder there at the end that sort of iced it away. If you could just talk a little bit about your game today.
Well, first of all, I think I'd really have a great game without the offensive line and how they do up front. And I think everyone does a really good job blocking, whether it's like offensive line, tight ends, receivers. They all work their butt off every week, and I can't say enough about those guys. I think that really helps me excel.
I'll say it for him too. The kid's a freak. I'll say it.
I'll second that motion.
All right. Looking at this year compared to last year, how much of a difference did it make being able to sort of settle in and go through your game week routine and being able to be at home when the snowstorm's hitting versus trying to travel out?
Yeah, well, I mean, that game last year was a lot of things happened last year that are big reasons why we're sitting where we're at today. I think we didn't talk about it last year to the media. We didn't. It was no excuse. We lost the game, but it's how we got there. Getting there at 4 a.m. on game day, and they still came out and almost pulled it off. It stunk as a coach because you want a fair playing field for these guys, and they just they didn't make excuses. They just kind of got mad. And I think part of that was it went into the off season about work ethic, and not that they didn't work hard, but the motivation of just what it takes. Okay, we don't want to have this feeling again, and we don't want to put ourselves in that position. And that carried all the way through into fall camp, through our summer and spring workouts, and right into fall camp. And so every week they know. I don't give a lot of motivational speeches. I don't have to. They know what's at stake, and so we're cherishing every moment along the way. And because this has been one of the most unbelievable seasons I've ever had.
And then Luke and Max, is that something that you guys brought up this year, just talking about the loss last year? Is that addressed at all during practice this week, or is it something that is just sort of understood and you roll with it?
No, not really. Honestly, what happened last year happened, and we talked about it in the off season. It's been a motivator for us, but this is a new team. This is a new season. We've been focusing on the now and where our feet are right now. So I think our team did an awesome job of just focusing on what's in front of us right now, and that was Azusa this past week, which is a great football team. They came and fought their butts off, and so now we're gonna go and focus on whoever we got next.
Yeah,
Luke, last year you had a situation where you talked about not being able to make the plays against Henderson, and that you were going to put a renewed effort into from that day forward. How do you think your team has responded with that as their motivator?
Oh, they've responded great. I mean, I'm so proud of how this team has been playing this year. The adversity that we've gone through, and just nobody's wavered or anything. Everyone's come together. I'll say that the chemistry on this team really is unlike any other team I've ever been a part of or that I've ever seen. Everybody, it really is just a family. Everybody comes together. I think you see it in the way we play. We all play for each other, offense and defense. And I mean, what happened last year happened, and it did motivate us this year. But just being with each other is, I think, the biggest motivator because everybody plays for each other.
Max, just on that question before about handling what happened last year and motivation.
Yeah, I think it was definitely in the back of everyone's minds, and we knew that coming in. But I mean, we got to, like Luke said, got to look past that and move on to what's at hand right now. I think we did a really good job of playing in the present and really focusing on our goal.
This being your second year in the playoffs as a team, is the pressure, I guess, does it feel different? Do you handle it differently having been here before, especially going up against a team that is going through this for the first time as a program? All three of you, or any of the three of you?
Honestly, I feel like the pressure is less than this year than it felt last year. I mean, traveling to Henderson and just how everything went, and it was our first playoff appearance in D2. I mean, I just feel like the atmosphere of the team right now is awesome. We're just ready to play, and it's just going into another week and preparing. But honestly, I feel a lot of pressure from any of you guys on the team.
Well, I would say, did you have something there?
I was just going to say, I think everyone feels really calm and comfortable about where we're at right now, and I think we're really confident in ourselves, and I think we know what we can do. And I think we just take that week to week, and we don't really change anything up. It helps us feel good about it.
Well, and I'll speak to that because I'm going to tell you, but it starts with leadership on our football team and my coaching staff, because the reality is last year I learned a lot as a head football coach about the pressure I as the head coach was putting on this team based on the 10-1 season that we had, or 11-1. We didn't make the playoffs, and that stung and it hurt and for these guys. And the next year I'm the one who was putting a lot of pressure about, hey, we got to be perfect. It was all for good intentions, but I think every game we were going into, it was like we couldn't afford to make a mistake or do anything. And this year, through listening to great leaders call me out, my coaches keeping me accountable to is, hey, we're gonna go play the next game and enjoy it. We're gonna go have fun, and because everybody knows what they are. These guys are competitors. They want to win, And so I appreciate just becoming a better football coach by listening, and that's really paid off this year because these guys go into every game ready to play, and they already know what's at stake. They don't need me to remind them.
And then just quickly, I mean, the defensive effort today too, and limiting Azusa Pacific to 46 yards on the ground and 132 through the air.
Yeah, I mean, that's been the that's been the thing that I think the question mark on this team coming into fall camp was what are they going to do about our defense? I think our kids pay attention to what people say about them or write about them, and I think our defense and led by by Coach Jackson has taken and filled 7 holes that we lost at graduation last year, and turn this into a defense that believes in each other. Sometimes the yardage or different things might not look what some people call impressive, but when it comes to points, they're cutting teams in half of what their point production is. And a couple of these, I didn't think, defensively at the end of the first half, we just muffed a punt there. And I know they're mad at themselves. They want to try to not even give up 7. But it takes people a long time to score on our defense. And that's been, I'm just proud of them.
And then Luke and Max, we talked to the Azusa Pacific players about playing in the snow, and obviously that being a whole totally new thing for them. What's it like for you guys growing up around it, I guess? Is it still as fun of an experience, or is it something that you sort of dread because you know that things hurt a little bit more when it's cold and windy?
Playing in the cold, it's never been a huge deal for us. And we had, I think, honestly, we can both speak to it. I think one of the most fun games we've ever been a part of was 2 years ago against Wayne State, and it was a blizzard here. Yeah. And it's kind of like, you wouldn't think that, but that was honestly one of the most fun games of football we've ever been a part of. So, I mean, yeah, you'd rather play in, 72 degree every day, but it's just another obstacle that you got to overcome, and I think our guys did a great job of it.
What about the guy in that Christmas sweater? Is that
this guy?
Can we get a comment on that?
That's our Max.
Hey, yeah, it's almost that time of year now. It's almost
Best time of year, right, Max?
Exactly. But speaking about like the snow and everything, but obviously, ideally, I don't think it's something we really want to play in, but it's something that I think is definitely a lot of fun. I mean, I love playing this stuff. That's why I wore the sweater. But
I didn't have any problem with it.
Yeah. and please tell me it's like your grandfather.
Actually, my mom just bought that and gave it to me last night. And then I decided I was going to wear it to pregame this morning.
I guess your mom doesn't love you that much, huh?
So
you got to really know Max. He actually thinks that's a beautiful sweater. I mean,
I'm with you. I like it.
So you're gonna bring it back for next week now, right?
I got another one.
Oh, you have another one? Good. That gives everybody something to look forward to.
Yeah, exactly.
And then, Coach, there was word flying around that you were outside shoveling the field or helping shovel the field. Can you confirm these reports, please?
Well, I'm an old farm kid, man. When I see a tractor and a blade, I'm gonna go do it. So, all hands on deck yesterday. John Poppin goes, our maintenance guy out here. John did a great job, but he had a lot of stuff to do, and I just said, hey, I'll jump in the tractor. I know how to work that thing. So, yeah, but I tell you what, I got more work done with phone calls and just kind of thinking, blading the field. Anyway, but yeah, I'm a farm kid, so I like tractors and toys like that. So.
I'll speak to that too. Coach Stugart does a great job. Like he does a lot of things that not a lot of other head coaches do, and shoveling the field, or if there's no one here, I've seen Coach doing on laundry before. And just a lot of stuff that a lot of other head coaches don't do, and it's pretty awesome to see that. So.
There's a long-held tradition in college football that college football on Thanksgiving is pretty special. So we're going to transition from Christmas to Thanksgiving. Are you all set to play right around Thanksgiving time?
Oh yeah, can't wait. I mean, this will be our first time in college being able to actually do it. So
yeah.
One last question. Were there any specific moments in the game today, maybe early on, where it looked like to any of you that it felt like the team was handling it differently, where things maybe weren't going your way necessarily, but the guys kept their spirits up and just sort of kept plugging along, where maybe even last year, earlier in the year, it wouldn't have been the case?
Well, I feel things on the sideline. I think in the past, there was times we always say, to get to where you're going, you got to know where you've been. And I remember, I think when the one touchdown that got it to 21, was just some miscommunication thing in our secondary, and it doesn't happen very often. But they're disappointed they gave up the touchdown, but you never feel a panic on the sideline. I think you just kind of go, okay, it happened, and where sometimes you can start to feel a momentum shift. I've used the word poise with this football team all year because it started with week 1 or 2 or whatever, the Bemidji State down 17 points, and we came out and blew up in a 34-point third quarter, and learning we can come back, and that when something bad happens, we don't hang heads. So it's just poise, they just keep. So I never felt that way. I don't know if these guys did. When you got a run game like with our offensive line and Justin and Max and Jason right now, where you can, okay, let's just get the clock going, and is a pretty cool thing. And I think him being a weapon of defenses know that you can't just take care of this one, you got to take care of that too. So no, I didn't feel that way. I mean, you kind of want to make sure everybody stays focused the whole game. I think we get a little excited sometimes, like maybe the game's over and you lose focus, but then they're able to snap it right back defensively like they did today.
All right.
Thanks, guys.
Coach,
Thanks.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
Matt, Luke, thanks.
Yeah.